So, just the other day, there was a trailer that was released for the upcoming Star Wars film from Disney, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, unlike the previous, you could say sneak previews to be honest, rather than actual film trailers, this is an actual proper trailer that's around 2 to 3 minutes long. In other words, you're not exactly going to be seeing a lot of clips from previous Star Wars films like what they heavily put in their previous trailer that I talked about. Now, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this film from the beginning. Apparently there's been a lot of reshoots for this upcoming film. They've even had to do things like rewrite the ending as well. And also, it's an understatement to say there was a lot of controversy surrounding the previous Star Wars film, The Last Jedi, from Rian Johnson. A lot of people didn't like that film, and there were a lot of elements within that film that made fans of the original Star Wars films very unhappy. Rian Johnson forcing Mark Hamill to drink alien booby milk does come to mind. But anyway, talking about Star Wars, I'm going to be analysing this trailer that we got just the other day of The Rise of the Skywalker. Now, I can't actually show any actual footage or play any of the actual trailer, but I can show you screenshots of it, so let's get into this. So this trailer is kicked off with Rey running around in the jungle reenacting Nathan Drake, and if I didn't know any better with the CGI in this first clip, I'd think it was a video game. We next see some shots of Rey standing around looking overly serious. Now, if you actually pay attention throughout this trailer, this is the expression that she has mostly on her face throughout it. Her mouth hanging open and with an overly serious look on her face. Like, is her mouth just permanently open or something? That is literally her facial expression throughout the entire trailer. We next get a shot of Finn. They seem to have to remind us that Finn is in fact still alive and is a part of this story, despite the fact that he hasn't really done anything throughout it. They have to remind us that he's still here, I suppose. Oh, when talking about the fact that they've got to remind us that characters are in fact still alive, we also get a shot of Rose Tico as well. Everyone's favourite Star Wars character, and for some reason dressed like Indiana Jones right here. We get a shot of Kylo Ren looking like he's getting ready to fight, and if I didn't know any better, he looks like he's just got out of the shower with how wet he is here. We next get a very interesting shot right here of what looks like a Star Destroyer coming up through ice and water. I guess Star Destroyers can be submarines as well now. Overall, with how J.J. Abrams and Disney have messed around with the Star Wars canon as much as they have with these films, I'm not really surprised with this at this point. We next get a shot of what looks like hundreds and hundreds of rebel ships. I guess they somehow got a massive army out of nowhere, despite the fact that at the end of The Last Jedi, it looked like they had no more than 20 people altogether, making up the entire resistance against the First Order. We see yet another fight clip between Rey and Kylo Ren, and at this point, who even cares? Because we've seen this fight before, they've had 2 or 3 fights already, Kylo Ren and Rey has won every time. I think by now we all know what the result of this fight is going to be. Rey is going to win because Rey cannot lose. We next see someone who looks a little bit like a gremlin messing around with the back of C-3PO's head. And then he goes on to talk about how this is the last time he's going to see his friends, and it's implied that he's probably going to be sacrificing himself for some greater cause or something like that. But the problem is the fact that he's probably only had 2 or 3 interactions with all of the new Star Wars characters since this trilogy was kicked off in 2015. Some of these new characters I don't think have even had 1 interaction with C-3PO, so in other words, he's just talking to people that don't really know him. Oh well, they've killed everyone else off in this new trilogy, I guess they might as well kill off C-3PO as well. We next get a shot of Princess Leia or Carrie Fisher hugging Rey. And the question I've honestly got to ask at this point is, why have they just not killed her off? Wouldn't it have been more respectful in a way to have just killed the character off with the fact that now Carrie Fisher is now unfortunately dead? Oh wait, that's because Rian Johnson was directing that previous film. My mistake. Next, they seem to have to tell us that the saga will end, and I'm fairly certain none of us in the fandom menace can wait for that. We next get a shot of what's arguably one of the most controversial clips of the entire trailer, with what seems to be a clip of all of the main protagonist characters running around on horses, or space horses, or something like that. And honestly, that just confirms the fact that these writers, these Disney writers, etc., are just out of ideas if this is the only thing that they could come up with. A lot of people trash the prequel films from George Lucas, but at least he came up with creative ideas. This is not creative in the slightest. They are horses. Just because you put horns on them, or tusks, doesn't make them any less horses. We next get another standoff between Rey and Kylo Ren, another fight I guess, and it looks like it's going to be in the Emperor's room that was in The Return of the Jedi. Well, nothing else in the original trilogy has gone untouched by Disney, so I guess they may as well mess around in the Emperor's main room as well at this point. We next get a clip of what looks like Rey and Kylo Ren smashing some sort of statue or something. I'm guessing that's supposed to symbolise that they're smashing the patriarchy. They don't make it too obvious, do they? We next get another standoff between our main unstoppable protagonist Rey and the main antagonist who's implied to be the Emperor who they have to bring back. That's another character they have to mess around with, I guess. And also, look how small Rey looks in this shot right here. I mean, I've got to say, she looks like a child. She literally looks like Ant-Man in the second Ant-Man film where they're in the school and he somehow gets shortened down to the size of a midget. That is what she looks like there. So that was the main trailer for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And I've just got to say, I'm not interested in this film in the slightest, and I don't think anyone else within the fandom menace is interested either. It's clearly obvious that Disney, etc. are out of ideas, they don't know where to take this franchise, and I'm sure that most of us simply cannot wait for this film trilogy to end. But we all know they're going to be making more and more films after that are going to be doing the same old nonsense, pushing the same old politics. I don't think any of us can wait to hear the end of it at this point. All I know is I'm going to be saving my money rather than seeing this film. But overall, people, be sure to let us know what you think about this down below. What are your opinions on Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker? What are your opinions on this trailer? Be sure to let us know what you think about this down below. Alright gentlemen, this has been Lord Flashheart. Be sure to rate, comment, favourite, share and subscribe. And I will see you again. Cheerio!